A vibrator.
What's that gonna do?
No, I literally meant like a person.
Have come on this journey with me where I've realized I'm not very good at video games.
So now I gotta turn the seed into flesh, Jake. I turned the seed into flesh.
Look, we know Garfield didn't go to January 6th because he's lazy. But you know he was
And it was
there
a
in
Monday.
spirit.
Truck.
Is that enemy truck?
Yep.
That was the lane! Yeah, leave it like that. That's good. That's good. That's good, Will.
I thought you were going to say, and then I learned about Nazi Germany.
I think about the moment when you look into Sonic's eyes all the time. I think about Sonic's feet.
Okay, let's go. Wow. Oh! Oh!
He has a kid!
I'm on stream.
Maggie's watching Forrest Gump. Apparently she got to.
If you had asked me to guess what Maggie was talking about when she came in, I would not have guessed Forrest Gump.
Look, I hate Twilight Princess. I've never played it. I don't want to because I hate that art style.
Man, that is the most Ian Gibson sentence I've heard in my entire fucking life.
It's a
No! I don't think you can say that!
I can literally hear it behind me.
Oh, it's Roxas. Show me Primus! Show me some Primus! Primus, baby! Look, I want to be a little slutty so that people will want to be friends with me.
Yes!
Yes! Woo! Wow!
One. We did it! Hey, the timer started over! Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. It's me, Will Crosby, your host of Local Chat. Joining me this week, as always, a man who can't believe his own underwear gets washed, Ian Gibson.
I don't do it. It just ends up clean. Not sure how.
That's incredible. And another man who hand washes the shirt he's currently wearing, Kyle Bailey.
Close. Very close. Almost. I'm very careful with this shirt, but yeah.
Always careful. Folks, we are Local Chat. That was it. We're out of here. We talked
Thanks,
about
guys.
video
Yeah.
games
See you next
and
time.
chit chat about all sorts of things. I just realized I do not have the show notes open, so I'm going to open those right now. It's episode
I'll
100.
segue for you. I'm sorry.
Go
Did
for
you
it.
say shit chat?
Yeah, we're going to shit chat. We're going to shit scat, which gets confusing because you can't say scat. So we're going to use poop and go
No,
and play with it.
No, that's what scat is. It's when you're scatting while you're scatting.
Yeah.
Some people are just into that.
What kids call it shit scat because it's less harsh.
Oh, wow.
What if
Anyways,
What did you say this episode number was again?
116?
That means you have to do something Halo themed for next episode.
Maybe we should re-review the season 1 of Halo.
Just bring us all back in.
God, it's just
oh, hey, what's
Um,
that bad?
it's so hot in this room. I'm eventually going to turn this fan on. It was 80 degrees in New Jersey today.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Oh my god! Wow, it's
No.
90 here. Shut the fuck
I
up.
know, but yesterday it was 50.
I know it's that mid-Atlantic weather where it just does whatever it wants in
Yeah,
the
it's
spring and
called
in the fall.
Joe Biden's global warming. He's leaving his heaters on to confuse all of Sorry,
Okay,
I don't
Alex
know.
Jones.
I know. I don't know anyone money. Let's dive headfirst here into the shit chat section, which
Mhm.
is Kyle Bailey witnessed the Mario movie, or as I like to call it, Chris
The
Pratt
Mario movie.
ASMR.
Mario, yeah.
Mario movie. Sorry,
Hmm.
Mario Batali movie that came out last night.
Okay.
We don't want to spoil it because we haven't seen it yet, but we want your one sentence hot take of the Mario movie, hot as you can make it for that sweet, sweet TikTok clip. Here we go.
The Super Mario Bros. Movie is visually appealing, and that's about it.
Oof.
Okay.
Now
That's what I
joining us is
expected.
Miyamoto-san crying. No, I'm kidding. That,
Wow.
I think I know where you're
Yeah.
going with that.
Oh,
And
wait,
also-
actually, hold on. I came up with some really bad Super Mario Brothers review headline puns that my friend asked me for last night at like 4 a.m. And the Super Mario Bros. Movie ground pounds itself below the belt for a straight up bad time. The Super Mario Bros. Movie needs a few extra lives to get close to landing anywhere on the leaderboard. And it ain't no peach. The Super Mario Bros. Movie gets smashed off the stage with a baseball bat to the head.
Oh, jeez, that last one is a little bit too close to
Oh.
woman beating. You say peach and bashed in the head with a baseball bat. It's like, okay, all right. I know you're not saying that, but that's too close for
And
comfort
yet
there.
you can do that as Peach in a video game. So
Yeah.
it's you know.
Did you guys see, was it the Washington Post where they had, I can't remember the specifics of it, but the reviewer was in their review for Super Mario Brothers, they were describing the character of Mario using like a more obscure pop culture reference from the 70s. And it was just like, what the fuck are you doing? How out of
forget
touch
what
are
it
you?
was. It was like from
It was
some like
weird.
stupid thing. Oh, I can't.
It was insane. Anyways, I'm excited to see it just because it's an opportunity to go to the movies, and it sounds like it will at least be pretty to look at.
It is very
and
pretty.
Yeah, that's fine.
It
That's
is
fine.
it is beautifully animated, and approximately 50% of the music is really good.
And it's short,
Oh.
right?
It's 93 minutes, I think.
Fucking
short.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful.
Well-
Look, any movie longer than 2 hours has to earn that over and over again.
If I
I'm a
can
strong believer in that.
if I can add like a dovetail to my one sentence review, it is absolutely only a kids movie. Only. It does not have.
Okay.
Well, that was my one sentence. So
I have
Okay.
one question that I'm allowing myself, and Ian, you can cover your ears if you'd like this. But when Mario shoots himself, no,
I would love that. I would love that. That would make the movie like +2 in my book immediately.
is
Only
there
they
a
have the
fart
balls.
joke in this movie?
no.
Okay.
If there is, it was not at the
Okay.
forefront.
Okay.
It was somewhere in the background.
I was
but-
gonna. You don't answer this because I don't want to know. But I was gonna go with fart or genitals joke, and I should have gone with genitals. Anyways, speaking of the movies, I went to the movies.
Wait
over
a
the
minute.
weekend.
You're skipping over the good shit. Can we talk about Pepsi real quick, please? You piece of shit.
I was trying to tie it together.
Look, it's Easter, and I happened to go to Walmart the other day, and I saw something that I had to immediately purchase.
Oh, I know.
Can you
what
gentlemen
bought.
guess what it is?
It's the Peep.
Is it? Yeah, it's some sort of.
It's the Peeps flavored Pepsi. And
Yeah.
if you don't mind, I have not tasted this yet. I don't like Pepsi. I'm okay with Peeps. Let's see what happens right here.
Literally just watched someone drink this, but the video was from last year.
Okay, here we. Oh, is it really from?
I'm praying to God for a spit take.
No, Ian always swallows.
It's true.
It's like 90% Pepsi, and then there's a little bit of that Peep sugar flavor. It's basically just Pepsi.
Hey, babe, want some Peep sugar?
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. That was a little bit of a downer. It's really just 90% Pepsi. I would prefer
Should have
Pilk
gone with my thing.
to this.
You know, the more I think about Pilk, the more I think I could drink it again. But
it's just a melted down root beer float, but with Pepsi
That's
instead of
the
root
thing.
beer.
That's what I was
It's
like.
really
Every
not that
time I come
crazy.
back to that, I'm like, oh, I should have a root beer float. Like I should go find
Exactly.
like a diner and have. And I should
Like I'm
get
not
that.
desiring Pilk, I'm desiring a root beer float. Yeah. Anyways, what was your
Anyways.
transition?
No. I went and saw the D&D movie.
I also saw that movie.
I also saw that movie.
I know. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I do not think that movie's winning any Oscars, especially not for
No.
visual effects.
Oh gosh.
Or at least combining real life and visual effects.
Yeah, I did have a little. Well, but it was Marvel quality green screening,
Yeah,
where it's
and I
like
don't think it's gonna-
Recent Marvel quality.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
it's gonna win any sort of story writing,
No.
any of that sort of thing. But
Or any
I will
acting.
say,
Or
I
any
think the
awards.
movie was a perfect encapsulation of a D&D one-shot adventure. It had the classic like ups and downs of it, the quest. It had the like you could see where the dice were being rolled in the movie, which I thought was really interesting. One of the things that happens later on is there's a dragon thing or a monster, and he throws a tent over it to dodge out of the way, and then it cuts to the camera, pans down to the thing tying around his foot that is tying the tent down, so he goes with it, which is a classic movie thing. But there were moments like those throughout it where I'm like, oh, there's the natural one, by accident you did something cool and then rolled crappy. And I also it turned a lot of the classic D&D stuff on its head. These were in the trailers, but there's that dragon scene, and it's just a big fat dragon who can barely get around, but is still coming after them. Again, I don't think it's an award-winning movie or anything. What I was trying to explain it to Karen. I was like, I would be more apt to watch this movie again over probably an Oscar-winning movie. In the sense of I'm not gonna go watch God, what is it? I don't know,
Big time.
a one and done type of Oscar-winning movie where you're I don't think I need to see that movie again.
The Whale.
Versus it's the afternoon, I'm gonna throw on the D&D movie and do something,
It feels to me. It felt like one of those movies where you see it on TBS 6 months after it's come out, and it's halfway through, and you're like, "I'll finish this, I guess," or watch it for 15 minutes. It was like the definition of competent. Just okay, it's like a movie. It works. It has act 1, 2, and 3. The characters are at least somewhat interesting. They have backstories. It's funny. It's not amazing, but it was competent, and I had a good time, and I think that's really what I was looking for.
Yeah. I like Chris Pine too. He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he was good in this. I just feel like this is one of those movies where I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. It's the exact same thing I have with the Fast and the Furious franchise, where everybody loves the absolute sweet fucking bejesus out of those movies. And I go and watch those movies, and it's just like I am watching actors in costume on a set deliver lines. There is
barely.
No, I'm not buying the characters. I'm not buying the story. I'm not buying any of this shit. And it feels like it is duct taped together with stereotypes and cliches. And that's kind of what the D&D movie felt like to me. And I was just like, I could not get into that movie at all. I mean, I'm happy to see people enjoying it, but it's one of those weird moments where I'm literally just like, there are things I can pick out that I think are terrible, but I cannot overall explain my feeling of just that did not feel like a movie in terms of it just felt like a good attempt at a movie, but none of it was working for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think it's a good movie. It felt like I binged a TV show really quickly. Or sorry, not.
I
I
disagree.
watched a YouTube. Yes, it had that. Well, yeah, I'm kind of halfway through that.
It felt like a movie to me. It didn't feel like a show, and I don't know. I think maybe the middling part of it, you see, it has 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not
wild.
And it's stupid because people read Rotten Tomatoes wrong. But it just it's not that good. It's just good enough to be considered it's pretty good.
It's good enough for most people to say I'll give it a tomato instead of a smashed tomato.
Now, my question, Kyle, this is the final question.
Yes.
Was the D&D movie better or worse than the Mario movie?
Better as a movie that told as a movie that told a cohesive story from beginning to end that made sense, that I was somewhat emotionally invested in, yes. Visually, no.
Visually,
Like,
no
no.
way.
But
Yeah.
yes.
The D&D movie had this weird problem where half of it was barely okay green screen, and the other half of it was like these super detailed sets that did not feel realistic at all. Like they would be in a
Yeah.
tavern and it'd be a fucking medieval Applebee's. There'd be shit everywhere hanging from the rafters and all this stuff, and it was just like, yep, that's a fucking set. Yep. Like I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
That's a fucking set.
Also,
You know,
we got
and
Bradley
that was kind
Cooper
of disappointing.
and Jeff Daniels
Yes.
for about
Yeah.
5 minutes.
It was like, what? Why?
Wait, who
It
was Jeff
just
Daniels?
Weird.
I'm pretty sure Jeff Daniels was the king at the end. Or the
Oh,
I don't think that
other.
was Jeff
for like
Daniels.
2 seconds?
Really? I thought it was.
I don't think that was Jeff Daniels.
I never looked it
No.
up, so it could not be, but it
Oh,
clearly
yeah.
looked like him for a second. And
It's
I was
also
Brad-
can I just say there is one thing that I can point out that is bad, and it's Hugh Grant's in the movie, and he has this one line where he's sitting down and he says something like "my apologies," but he says apologies into the teacup, and so they had to ADR the apologies. But it's not a good ADR, and it's super clear they added it afterwards. And they have that fucking line in all of the trailers and TV spots. So every time they show the T spot, he goes, my apologies. Like it's just this really bad ADR on top. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you like? There's a lot of like ADR and feels like reshoots and recuts that are kind of a little bit too obvious in the movie where you're like, oh, you're trying to make something work here and it's not meshing properly.
this is the last thing before we can move on. But I will say it doesn't work for a lot of people. It's my kind of humor, but the commitment to not ending the bits, like with the hot tea and
Yeah.
stuff, were so fucking funny to me.
That was good. That was good.
That was
There was a lot of
It
good
was
jokes in the
so
movie. Yeah.
stupid, and they kept doing it, and I was like, okay, you can stop now. And then they do it one more, and you're like, no, that's still funny.
Yeah. It was weird. It was like 75% of the jokes to me at least felt like complete duds, but the ones that landed, they fucking
Yeah.
landed.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a real mix for me.
Totally. Yeah, I can see how you got there now. Like I equate enjoyment too much with how good a movie is, which I think you can do to some extent, but that's just the way I've always done things, which is why I'm a terrible critic. Moving on, briefly, I bought my OLED, my
How's it
LG
doing?
B2. It is fantastic. It's beautiful. I've already burned
Oh
it.
yeah.
The screensaver is like, you're not touching this for
Instant?
a minute. It's going.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah.
So I haven't really noticed the pixel shift. I see what people are saying where it's not like the C2 is brighter, like overall brightness. You can go higher
Yeah.
the nits, but I can
But
see
your room's
why. Like,
fine.
yeah,
You don't
my
need the
room's fine.
brightness
Like
in your room.
if like gun to my head, I'd be like, I could turn out the brightness 1 or 2, but it's not like
Yeah.
I really care about it. And also to discover Resident Evil 4 just has Corona effect all throughout it. For like turning, and I just want to kill I don't want to play that game because it annoys me. So
You
much.
bought a new TV for that game,
but-
now you have other problems with the game.
But the like black smear and all that stuff is totally like I went to play Oblivion.
Okay, cool.
Let's just Elder Scrolls Oblivion for the 360 looks fantastic on a 2023 OLED 4K 120
bet it
hertz
does.
screen.
That's a bright game, which is great. You know.
It's and I bought the TV at Micro Center, which is a plus. I did not let myself walk around the store.
So I got
because I
that.
would have bought
Coward.
too much stuff. They did have train magazines though, which was very exciting. But the county that our Micro Center in is only 3.5% sales tax. So I went
Nice.
to
Oh,
half the
I've-
sales tax.
I forgot to tell you the joke, which is that so Karen looked it up when we were streaming the other day and told us it's because they're trying to do like economic development in those specific areas of New Jersey. And I meant to tell you that's one of the positives of living in such a shitty state is that there are some state programs where they intentionally try to make things better for you, like lowering sales tax. They don't have to do that in Florida because it's great here.
Because all the old
So
they
I'll-
want to milk the old people.
Yeah.
I'm paying 7% sales tax, and I'm like, I'm okay because I don't have income tax, so fuck it, you know. It's great.
True. So I'm happy with it. It's all set up. now I have to wade through the sea of Facebook people as to whether they actually want to buy my TV or they're trying to somehow scam me.
Oh, did I tell you about the scam that I had? This is actually a warning.
Warning.
I was
Yes,
when
sir.
I shut the fuck up. When I was moving from Baltimore, I was trying to sell a bunch of stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and I remember I put a post up, and I immediately got like 5 different people respond to me, and they were like, "Hey, I'm interested in this," and I'm like, "Okay, cool. Are you okay with the price? Can you come pick it up?" And they're like, "Hey, I want to know if you're a real person, so give me your phone number, and I'll text a code to it, and you have to tell me what the code is." And I was like, no. And they all said that. So there's some scam where they're trying to get your phone number to use your phone number to verify some other service that they're signing into because they don't have a phone to do like the two-factor authentication, et cetera, for. So if people start asking you for the phone number, just tell them like, fuck off. I'm just communicating via Facebook.
Yeah, because the like thing I read was like, oh, have like ask for the person's phone number so you can text them your address so you know they have a phone
No.
tied to the Facebook. And I was
No.
still like, what is your reasoning here? Like the best advice I saw for a seller was don't give them your full address until they're on their way to come pick it up.
No,
'Cause
that's
there's
weird
just-
because then they don't know where they're gonna go.
No, like give them the area and then when they're on their way, like give them or like when you're set for them to come buy it, then give them the address. Don't be like, it's here.
Once they've agreed to it, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that's more. Of
I usually just looked at their profile, and if I looked at their profile and I'm like, this is a real fucking person, then I'd be like, okay, let's keep talking here.
Yeah, totally. Although the 2 people I got so far, well, 3 people. One guy who just wrote "want 100" in Spanish, and I was just like, sorry,
See?
I can't go less than what I'm offering, and I said yes, it's still available because they also asked that in English. And I was like, yes, it's available. And then they just write 100.
Oh.
And I went, I can't go that low. And they go, no.
That's fair. So just I don't know if you're aware of this, but when you're buying stuff on Facebook Marketplace now, when you go to send them a message, it gives you a prompt to immediately say, is this still available? So if people are asking that, don't get annoyed by it, because now the problem is people on Facebook, people are putting on Facebook and they're like, I'm putting this up for sale. Don't ask me if it's still available. If it's still up, I'm not gonna buy it. And it's just like, no, you don't understand. That's the auto message now. When you start to send a message to somebody, it auto fills that as the default message. Like people are just like pissed off because people keep asking if it's available. And it's like, no, that's the default message, you idiots. So don't get frustrated when somebody says that.
Okay. Yeah, I had another lady who didn't message me through the Marketplace thing. She messaged me through Facebook and was asking about it. And then she didn't get back to me after I answered like the area I lived in because she was like, my brother wants to come pick it up. But this was an older lady, probably in her 60s. And I was like,
yeah, so
was your Facebook hacked? And this is someone using your hacked Facebook because it looks real because you have a bunch of pictures, but you haven't have any recent pictures. Are you dead? So
yes,
it's a fun minefield to wade through. Anyways, moving on through the rest of the show, it's time to talk about the video games we've been playing. I know everyone has been looking forward to that. 5 viewers, yet no one in the chat. Can't believe it.
They know we don't call out chat messages on local chat.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I'll ban you if you chat, actually. So don't even think of it. Oh, okay. David's banned. Got him.
Oh,
You were just waiting for Ian to stop talking? I can see that. Anyway.
Keep waiting.
Well, he's going to be waiting because Kyle, please tell me about the games you've been playing, one of which is one of David's favorite games. So,
if I had to guess, Psychonauts?
No, it was Uncharted 4.
Specifically for the PC. No, I'll start with Psychonauts. Yeah, so I watched Psych Odyssey, which was the 22-hour-long documentary of the making of Psychonauts 2, produced by 2-Player Productions via Double Fine. It was really cool. It got me interested in playing Psychonauts, which is a game I'd always heard about, never played, so I bought it. They had a really cool bundle on Steam for like $30 for every single Double Fine game, and I got that. It was real nice. I also want to check out Grim Fandango, but that's gonna happen way later. But yeah, Psychonauts, it's good. Like it's solid. I was surprised at how intuitive it felt. Obviously it's a little dated now. There's some stuff where it's like, oh, we're in this era of video game development. But it's fun. The creativeness, the inventiveness of it is really cool. I'm not that far into it, only a couple hours, but I dig it. It's awesome. Have you guys played it or beaten it?
I played the first couple hours. I think the story, characters, etc., setting and everything is great. I'm just not a big fan of the platforming and the combat in it. It's not for me.
Yeah.
So I dropped it after a couple hours, but I definitely see all the love and hype for it. It's a very unique game
Yeah.
in terms of setting, story, characters, etc.
Sure.
I played about 15 minutes of it. It was one of those things where it's like, I need something to play before we go out or something. And it's like, oh, let me boot up. It was going to be like an hour, and I just booted it up. And then I'm like, I don't want to commit to this game right now. So I stopped playing.
Yeah.
We should do a stream series where it's David and Kyle David and Will's playing Psychonauts for the first time.
Yeah,
Psych
it
me
go
up.
hand in hand with the David and Will Tales of Symphonia.
That's gonna last an episode and a half.
Yeah, before I kill myself live on stream.
Before we all
I-
kill ourselves.
We'd get so many views though. We'd be all over the news. It'd be great.
We'd be banned probably. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
but not our YouTube channel, just the Twitch.
Oh, true.
Ugh.
That'd be dope, yo.
Also,
Um,
look who's the favorite Subpixel member now.
Oh my god.
It's me.
I can't believe it's me.
Probably
Yeah.
just gotta update the rankings. I can't believe Ian just changed his name to Kyle. That was incredible.
That was so fast. He did it on stream. No, Psychonauts is really cool. I'm looking forward to playing more of it. And then Uncharted 4, again, it was the Thieves Collection. I don't know what the fuck it was called. I played Uncharted 4 before. It's good. I kind of just wanted to try it out on my PC, and I'd never played Lost Legacy, so I kind of wanted to round out the Uncharted experience by playing that too. So it's fine. It's very pretty. It does not run well without DLSS, so please turn that on, even if you have a very
Ooh.
powerful PC. But
Ooh,
DLSS
that's-
is like a solid 65 to 70 FPS. It's great at
That's
1440p.
weird. That's like a precursor to all the problems.
Yeah.
That's like forewarning or foreshadowing of all the problems they've had with Last of Us Part 1. PC
What is
port.
it? Iron Galaxy?
Well, so the thing is, nobody knows how much they actually did because Naughty Dog kept being like, "No, this is our port. This is our port. Iron Galaxy's helping, but we're doing the work on this."
Yeah.
Somebody fucked up royally there.
Yeah, I just don't. That game, I feel like that game has been remastered so many times that they should have like a playbook of like, just do this for this. Like we've
Yeah.
done this like 1,000 times
Oh, for
before.
The Last of Us?
Yeah, and
But
I
that
don't
is the first time they've put the Last of Us Part 2 engine on PC, right? Because is that a different engine or a different engine overhaul than
I don't think
Uncharted
it's the
4?
same engine.
I don't know actually. I
It might be.
honestly I'm not sure.
I know
But maybe a different
the whole thing is
iteration of it.
they didn't. Yeah, I think it's the same engine. They just didn't add the 2's mechanics back to 1. Like you can't go
Oh, okay.
prone and do the like stealth stuff or more stealth.
Gotcha.
Stuff. Yeah, for work, we do the occasional potato mode where I just try to make the game look as bad as possible. And I was like, should
What if
we
I just
not
run it?
should we not do one for The Last of Us? Because it'll look probably better than what everyone else is getting
Oh
anyway.
my god.
So, which for those, I use the NVIDIA inspector and I literally crank the stuff
Mhm.
way past what it's supposed to be. But I was like, I'm just gonna do a compilation of like the things other people have done because it's way funnier that way. And I'm so mad that horrible Joel blackface picture that you
blackface.
posted isn't a video, but I want to do like a slow zoom on it. It's so like
Oh,
just
it's so
this-
bad.
It's so funny. I
God.
love it. I'm glad that you're playing. Uncharted 4 is one of the first games I played when I bought a PS4. And I remember that game looking stunning
It
on the PlayStation
honestly
4.
That looks
it,
good.
it looks beautiful. I just did the Madagascar level, which was like the big showcase level that
Oh,
they did when it
yeah.
was coming out, and it still looks great. Say what you want, obviously, about Naughty Dog and their gameplay loops and everything, but man, their visuals look really good.
Yeah. I think think it's my favorite Uncharted, which isn't saying that much, but it's also too long. It's a little too long. They should have cut a couple chapters.
I don't remember
Yeah.
how.
Should have been like
I remember
30, 45 minutes long.
the beginning being really long. That whole section when you play as young Nate and you're like clambering over
Yeah.
rooftops.
Oh,
I was
God,
like,
that
this is
shit's
like
fucking
half
awful.
an hour and it takes
And that's
forever.
the
And I
intro,
remember-
right? It's just like
I remember
ugh.
getting to one point where I thought it was gonna end. Like, there's that one point where you crash. You played the whole game, right? All
Yeah.
of us. Well, not Ian, but he.
Oh yeah.
I
Um,
got to the Hitman level where you infiltrate that mansion at night where there's like a party, and then I did that, and then I was just like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I don't need this
Yeah,
anymore.
that's like 4 hours, 5
yeah,
hours.
it's like 4 or
yes.
5 hours
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you like crash onto that island or whatever. Back to the island, Jack. When you get there, I was like, oh, here we go, we're wrapping it up, and then it's like, no, sneaking around, find the giant pirate village, going like, I was just like, please let it end.
It's actually the one thing
it's
they
fun.
do. The one thing they do that I really like is I'm actually at this part right now. Is it's just you and your brother, and you just have a whole like series of islands you can go and explore, and there's no
Yes.
enemies. And I was like, this is great. Like, just give me like a whole like 2 levels of this, and it was fun. And then the combat comes back, and it's like, well, the combat is super arcadey and kind of whatever, and it's fun for a little bit. But I do agree, there are some parts of that game where it's like, all right, let's go, let's go.
I did always like their saying, like, it's a little cheesy, but the red around Nathan Drake when you get shot is his luck running out to where he finally
Oh,
like gets hit.
fuck off.
And I always no, it's like
it's
not
blood. It's
No, no, no,
blood
no, no, no,
because
no, no, no.
you're hurting.
it's not actually what it is, but someone said like it was like anyways, it was something in reference to Uncharted 4. And I always thought that was funny in games because it makes sense for a lot of video games. Like, your character's not actually getting shot. It's just you're about to get shot, so the screen's getting red. Like, you're gonna get hit or you're gonna die.
That's pretty funny.
Which I always thought was like a cute way of explaining it.
That was, I don't want to say it was the first game to do it, but I feel like the game that popularized it was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. And when that came out, the people who didn't like it were just like, why do you keep putting jam on my screen? Like, why is there so much jelly on my
jam.
screen all the time? And I was like, okay, that's pretty funny. That's
The
funny.
jelly. Ian, do you want to go next?
Yeah, 2 quick hits. I've been playing Insurgency Sandstorm. I had so much fun bombing Iraq in VTOL VR that I said, get me down at the ground level. No, I have my eyes on
their
this.
eyes.
I wanna see so Insurgency Sandstorm, it's been out for a couple years. Have you guys ever played any of Insurgency, the original, or Insurgency Sandstorm?
I think I played for like 5 minutes the original.
I
Okay.
played that Darude Sandstorm once.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
make
I
that
played
joke.
it a lot. So Insurgency, the original, was it was kind of a standalone source mod, and what it did really, really well was it gave you kind of like some like a really good mix between like milsim and Call of Duty FPS. So it's a little bit more realistic than Call of Duty. You know, you have careful movement, etc., but it's not full armor where you feel like you're moving through gelatin and you're horribly inaccurate, etc. But what Insurgency did really, really well that I absolutely loved was it was, for me personally, one of the first games that implemented suppression. So are you guys familiar with like the military like gunfight concept of suppression?
Oh, I thought you said
Yeah.
depression. It like cut off right at the beginning, and I was like, how did they implement that? Like, you just get
I
real
don't really want to
tired
fight
and
today.
everything
really
turns
feeling
blue. It's
Yeah.
it's grape jelly on the sides
Yeah,
instead.
it's not
of,
actual depression. It's
Yeah.
just really cartoony sadness.
Yeah, exactly. So suppression is basically I'll start it with this weird statistic that I'm quoting off the top of my head, but they were talking about they did a recent study of like all the military engagements and ammunition fired by US military forces in Afghanistan over like 10 years, and they came up to a rough statistic of only 5% of rounds fired are accurately aimed. as in I am aiming at an enemy and pulling the trigger. 95% of it is, I don't want to call it spray and pray, but you are firing in the general direction, or you know there's a guy behind that rock, you're firing at the rock. And the concept is, if you are hiding behind something and somebody is shooting at you, you are hearing the bullets hit around you, you're hearing the bullets go over you, and you're terrified to shit to pop your head up. So you're basically forced to you're literally being suppressed, where you feel like you can't move, you can't do anything. And even if you do pop your head up to shoot, you're going to be under so much stress and adrenaline, bullets popping over you, that you're not going to be able to get off an accurate shot. That's just not in video games, right? Like, think about like Halo, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike. Like, you're standing fucking toe-to-toe to people and you're just like mag dumping and you're just like, who's gonna get it first? But there's no sense of fear or anything that the game is able to present to you. But what Insurgency did really well was that it had fucking suppression. So if people were shooting at you or around you, your screen would start to shake. And it didn't have to be accurate fire. As long as they were throwing rounds within like 5 feet of you, your screen started shaking and your audio started going out and you couldn't return effective fire. So it actually was this really cool game where not only did it feel good, but also you're trying to actively suppress the enemy because it was a viable tactic. You know, you knew they're in this corner. I'm just going to lay down fucking rounds while my enemy's flanking, because even if they do pop their head out, they're not going to be accurate at all because of what the game's doing to them. It's a long-winded rant just to say what made Insurgency really cool. Insurgency Sandstorm came out a couple years ago. It's basically just the sequel to that. It's a standalone. It's like a full standalone now. They've added a lot of stuff to it. I finally played it. It's been on my wish list for a while, but I just wasn't in the mood. It's really good. I think the problem I have with it, though, is that it's an old school shooter. Like, did you guys ever play like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Counter-Strike, all that stuff back in the day?
Yep. Yeah, I still have the first 2 on CD, I think.
Yeah. So all that stuff was like round based. And what I mean by round based was like there was no overarching narrative. There's no progression. It's literally just like, I'm gonna hop on the game, play it for 20 minutes, hop out. Maybe I'll do another round, hop out. Maybe I'll go to this server, hop in, do that. And that's what Insurgency Sandstorm is. And like, I hate microtransactions and battle passes and all that stuff, but all of that progression, when it's not in a game, it's hard nowadays to play a game and just be like, okay, what's driving me to do another match? There's no XP gain. There's nothing I'm gaining towards unlocking necessarily. It's just, do I want to scratch that itch a little bit more? And so it's really, it's fun. If you want to do that, you want to do that. But what I've started to realize is I've kind of outgrown that. Like, I have so many games to play and so many things to do in my life that sitting around and playing the same round without any sense of progression, it's a little too old school for me. I don't know. Is that a crazy thought?
No, I mean, there are so many games that I've gone back to play that it's like, oh, we've gotten so far past this point in game. I feel that a little bit with Psychonauts, where it's like, I remember when this was like the thing that people did, and when you find a better way of doing something and it sticks, you keep that thing and it evolves. And I think especially with shooters, like, it's really apparent because it's, I don't know, there's so much of the same types of scenarios that you see. You can track that progression really easily. So
yeah, especially since Insurgency Sandstorm does a lot of that old school FPS thing where it's like, we have maps, we have predefined spawn points. So a lot of it is learning the map, learning, oh, that alley 40 meters away is typically where the enemy comes out because that leads right to their spawn, etc. And I don't quite have the patience for that anymore. It's a great game. Especially it's on sale frequently. They have a whole lot of content in it. The one thing that's unique about it, I would say, is, and really popular, is they have a co-op mode. So basically you spawn in with 8 to 12 other people and you have these objectives, but in between you and the objective, they're just constantly spawning enemies. So it's not quite a horde mode because you're usually moving around, but it's a great way for you and 6 to 10 other people to just be playing against really ruthless AI that is just constantly spawning. So you're just half the time you're mowing people down, the other time you're just there's too many of them, and you're just you bust open a door in a room and there's 5 in the corner and you're just jeez, and they turn and shoot you. So it's really cool to see an online multiplayer shooter embrace AI like that and make it work with bots, etc., which is pretty cool. That's Insurgency Sandstorm. I've had some fun with that. But the game I've been playing the most this week is a little game called For Emblem Engaged. Y'all fans of this series? Y'all play this series?
I'm a big Fire Emblem fan, as you know. I've never touched Engage. I've looked at it on my phone, right? It's the phone one,
No,
right? No?
this is
What am
the
I
Switch
thinking
one
of the
from
phone
this
one?
year.
You're
Okay. I'm thinking
don't
of what is it called? I can't remember. If you
Yeah, I know what you're
anyway,
talking about, though.
whatever one that is, holy crap, the advertising is so sexualized for Fire Emblem. It's crazy. All I wanted to say.
What do you mean? You can play Fire Emblem?
And it's all men. It's so weird. No.
Oh.
Oh, you're in the algorithm. That's
No,
fine.
because remember, men have
What do you
breasts. I mean,
mean?
that was the whole thing on Twitter.
Yeah. So, anyways, I've been playing Fire Emblem Engage. I've been itching for a Fire Emblem game. I tried to play Sacred Stones earlier this year, but it's a little bit too hard for me to go back that far. Like
I
I've
love Sacred Stones.
I've played more recent Fire Emblem games, so I went back to Sacred Stones and I was just like, this is cool, but I am missing way too many of like the creature comforts I have grown used to in the Fire Emblem series. And the other thing was like, I think we can all agree, Three Houses, total piece of shit. What an absolute waste of time for that series. And I tried to play that and it did not satisfy Fire Emblem at all for me. So I'm in like this like thirst for Fire Emblem and I'm ready to play Engage. It looks like Kyle has something to say. A total agreement, right, on Three Houses?
So
Piece of shit.
partially, I had that exact sentiment for the first like 4 hours, and then like something just clicked, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And I haven't beaten it yet, but I've completely like done a 180 on that game. So
Stockholm Syndrome. Got it.
Probably.
I you've convinced me now, Ian, that I need to play my Fire Emblem games in chronological order, so I don't do that to myself. So I think the next one
Yeah.
I need to play is the GameCube one, which works because it's
Yeah.
on my Steam
Path
Deck.
of Radiance. Do Path of Radiance.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Go on
I've been playing Engage, and it's pretty fun. It's a Fire Emblem game. It's Fire Emblem to its core. There's kind of two things that stick out to me. Number one is that it feels like a correction. It feels like a nice mix between the more social elements of Three Houses and like the raw tactics of previous Fire Emblem games. And what I mean by that is there's like this central area, hub area called Somniel. That's like your headquarters. And you can go back there and you can run around and you can talk to people and you can go to different rooms and pick items up and do all that stuff. And you have chores you do every time you go back there. That's more of Three Houses, but not in a fuck huge school that's annoying with a million fucking assholes you got to talk to all the time. This is like a more contained, focused version of that, and it feels much better. And then the tactics are great. Like I'm only at like chapter 6 or chapter 7 now, but so far the battles have been really interesting. The tactics, they're introducing some new mechanics. It feels really nice to get back into that Fire Emblem groove and feel the good tactics. I do have a big problem with this game though, which is that it's more than that. This game is anime as fuck, and it's the worst type of anime. Like it's bad. Y'all like anime? Y'all anime friends? Y'all hentai lovers?
I like some anime every once in a while.
I watched Neon Genesis Evangelion recently.
Did you really? Did you really?
Yeah.
Wait, the movie or the series? Pause. We got to
Yeah.
talk about this real quick.
I watched. Well, I didn't want to tell anyone about it because then they would either A, make fun of me, or B, spoil the entire thing. I watched the
You're not
entire
doing this on
series,
stream.
and then I made it like 15 minutes into the movie before I like didn't want to watch it anymore because that show starts off so strong and it's so good, and it's like dark Pacific Rim with kids.
Yeah.
And it's just like screaming, and then it's just like anime bullshit with like sexualizing children and kids and stuff, and I'm like, how old are these people? I'm googling whether or not to arrest myself or not, and then it's just like really neat. So I have no
I understand.
want to finish it.
I understand stopping the movies because the movies, at least at the beginning, are basically just remakes of the series, but as movies. So it's weird rolling directly into the movies.
Yeah.
You know.
So I went with like the like recommended final movie where it like supposedly did everything. But at that point, like the mystery had gone. Like I was super interested in like there's the atom and all that stuff, and it's like really weird.
Yeah.
But then it just got too anime for me, and I was just like,
and
it's not going to reach a conclusion that I like. But like the stuff, that show had great like external mystery where it's like, oh, what's the
Yes.
spear of longitis, and like where are these things coming from and why do they interact, and like all that stuff was really neat.
Yes.
But it's just like it's just never gonna be satisfying, so I stopped it and finished it in my head. And I'm just
Yeah,
like, okay.
that's
Oh,
fair.
great music too. So I need a new anime to watch, but I can't tell anyone about it until I finish it. So
It's 8th MS team. Anyways,
Yeah,
so
It's
here's the problem
free.
with Fire Emblem Engage. It's too fucking anime. And it's so funny. All those complaints that you had, well, most of the complaints you had are in this fucking game. Like there's little girls with tiggle bitties on them. And it's like, what are you doing? Like it's like super sexualized. And then their characters are just like, oh, I'm so embarrassed, master. And it's just like the worst anime tropes all over this shit. And like you said, Kyle, like the most ridiculous outfits and haircuts, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like honestly, the story's not that bad. It's just that every character is anime as fuck. Their presentation, etc. Every female character, actually, a majority of the female characters have like double D's, clearly exposed, etc. And it's just like, you know what? I'm done with these fucking anime tropes, and it's upsetting.
I hate to be the person who's like, oh, I wish it would go back to the way it was. But I really do like
Yeah.
the fact that the original animes were very much just Lord of the Rings with an anime sheen. Like that's really all it was. And
Yeah.
you had characters like Lynn, who were like very strong female characters who were not sexualized at all. Maybe at least not in the games. That sort of stuff I really, really liked. And even Will, you were talking about Path of Radiance. There are some really cool female characters in there who are like just badass, like completely awesome. And there's no like overly anime like, oh yeah, master, whatever.
Yeah.
What? I hate that shit. I really
Yeah,
do. That's also
exactly.
what all anime sounds like to me. So
So not to contradict you, Kyle, but this was something I intended to say anyway, which is I'm not saying that all anime is like this, but these are like the most prevalent and worst of anime tropes and cliches. And it feels like Fire Emblem Engage is embracing that fully and completely. And that's kind of the problem I have with the game. I'm still gonna play it. The game itself is great. Even the hub world, I'm enjoying some elements of the run around. It's like I said, it's not too overwhelming like it was in Three Houses, and the tactics are awesome. I'm enjoying it, so I'm having fun with it. And you know what? I'm saying it. It's going on our 2023 Game of the Year nominee list.
sweet. I'm not
Um,
upset
my
about
God.
that. I do want to try it out.
You know
Um,
what? If you don't mind, gentlemen, I want to pull the list up real quick because
Yes, please.
it's
Fuck
been
no.
25% of the year done, and I don't think we have pretty much barely anything on the list so far. We have Hi-Fi Rush and Metroid Prime Remaster, and now Fire Emblem Engage, and that's it.
I've beaten one of those games. I'm so happy. It's one thing I don't have to play.
Hi-Fi Rush, I need to go finish. Metroid Prime Remaster, I did finish.
I played enough of
Hogwarts-
both of those
oh, so
games
you have-
to appreciate them.
You have these. Oh, these are just suggested ones.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have stuff in yellow on the list because they scored high enough that somebody should play them to make sure they should or should not be on the list. That's all.
I was doing an impression. Hogwarts Legacy is not going to make it. It's fun and it's nostalgic and it's cool to be in Harry Potter land, but I don't think it's a Game of the Year contender.
don't
It
know.
might be like a
I mean,
9 or 10, honestly.
I mean,
Um,
I don't want to play the game, but I support their political opinions, so I feel like I do need to play the
Jesus
game.
Christ. You're the worst. I will say
Oh,
I was doing. Karen pointed this out the other day. I was running in a circle in the kitchen, going Professor, and she pointed out that in Hogwarts Legacy, every cutscene where the people are talking, I would just run and jump around them like this while my character's talking normally. So he's just like, Professor, I found the wand that we need. And it's just like, what is happening? Which is my
Full
favorite thing to do in
ADHD.
video games. So it wins in my heart for having that in it. But literally 3 of the main characters I've met have had the same exact face. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like,
yeah.
You just
And,
don't see shapes. You're
yeah.
shapist.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not sure.
Fascist.
I am interested in playing that game, but I didn't play it when it came out. Well, let me do the caveat, which is I don't agree with the political opinions, and we came up with our personally decided compromise of you buy the game, but you donate at least that much or more to a trans charity, etc. I didn't play that game when it came out because I was on vacation, and then I came back and I was like, well, let me wait for it to go on sale. But the more the year goes on, and the more I see like your reactions and other people post launch where they've calmed down a little bit, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I really don't need to go back to that game, and I'm not sure that I ever will, honestly.
It's a game that if I had in college, I'd be playing it a bunch. Like,
Yeah,
it's just a
Yeah,
bunch to
I can see
do.
that.
Don't have to spend money. You can just play that game, and it's satisfying. Playing that game is fun. I enjoy it, but it's like at the point where it's like, do I want to go back? I'll go back if it's the only thing
yeah.
left on
And
the hard drive.
honestly, there's too many good games coming out this
That
year
too.
that I'm behind already. So I'm not going to go back for that necessarily when I got other stuff going on.
Let me hit here the games I've been playing. I did the good old Costco to Nintendo voucher to purchasing 2 games. So I technically got $130 worth of games for $80.
$80. Yeah.
So I
it's great.
pre-ordered Tears of the Kingdom, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Nice.
And then I purchased Yoshi's Crafted World. First of all, a banger of a soundtrack. A banger of a soundtrack. It is
I can believe
so good. So good. If you ever listen to the No Thoughts Head Empty Nintendo music, a lot of the tracks from this game are in that. They're just such bangers. It's beautiful. Everything like the Woolly World I always thought was neat, but the Crafted World is more my speed. It's like you're made of felt. The whole world's cardboard, paper, like craft supplies, so like glitter and stuff, which is like a more broad topic than yarn. So I feel like, or not, yeah, yarn and then wool are those 2 separate games?
Yes.
Wow, and now it's crap. Okay, I haven't played the other ones. Anyways, it's really great, and we're having fun, and it's good. It's a great couch co-op game. It plays well. There's like a lot of interactivity with throwing your eggs at the stuff in the background. You eat enemies to make eggs like a Yoshi game, but if you jump on the other person's back, you get unlimited eggs, so you can like get your way out of places where like you might run out of eggs. But it's fun, it's cute, and you unlock costumes. So I have a little cardboard train around me that my character carries, and it gives you extra health, and you can duck into it. And you earn the stuff you earn in the levels you put into like a gumball machine to unlock the different stuff for your characters. It's adorable and fun, and I basically said, Karen, I'm getting Legend of Zelda for us. What game do you want from the list? And it was between that and Luigi's Mansion 3, and we were just like, let's get a co-op game. I mean, Luigi's Mansion 3 is a co-op game, but she liked the crafted stuff, and so did I. So we were playing that. Secondly, Resident Evil 4, I touched on already. I'm playing it. I'm not enjoying it super much, so blah, 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 blah.
Ooh, is that
That's crazy
is
to me.
is that because of the graphics you were talking about, or is that because of the game itself?
No, not that I'm not enjoying it. I'm just like playing through it, and I love
It doesn't feel
Resident
like a
Evil 2
game.
remake.
Like it feels like characters on a screen doing things that you're controlling, but it doesn't feel like a game.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's the same thing.
Honestly, I don't want to blame it on this, but I've been covering it so much for work and watching through the entire game
That'll do it.
and cutting
That'll
boss
do it.
fights together and all that sort of stuff. And I kind of want to just wait until I forget all of it. Not
Yeah.
that I've really been spoiled, but it's just like I'm fatiguing on it. So like today, I cut together a whole thing of a boss fight, and it's just like I don't really feel like playing. So I'm just slowly going through it. Honestly, I just like to get on the couch and play Oblivion because it's so good. It's just I just walk around in Oblivion. The nonsense that happens in that game is it's so pure. Like it's just so pure. I love it so much. Stu and I streamed it on Tuesday. I actually did the PC version, and I subtly added a bunch of mods to it to see if Stu would notice. One of them being giving all of the Imperial Guards sexy walks, which was so incredible. To which then I made one of the sexy Imperial Guards 3 times his size. So I was just walking behind his butt, swaying. It was very good. But we teleported around with some commands, and there's a giant test room that I had never seen before because I played on the 360. And there's a whole test town with like specific characters for testing all of the stuff in Oblivion. And
You want a little behind the scenes secret? That is also in Elder Scrolls Online, because that's how we did all of our integration smoke regression testing. Is go to the test area, go to this character, they will give you a quest and an item. It's like checking basic logic flows, etc.
yeah, it was so cool. They had a giant room for just lockpick testing. They had more esoteric rooms where I'm assuming you would need more console commands to get them started. Like there was like detection rooms and like all that sort of stuff. So I think you'd have to hit more keys. But it was fun, and I actually found out I'm gonna do a video on it, but I found someone else's video on YouTube, pointing out some other test areas. And there's a test room with a character voiced by Todd Howard, who did all the voice for the character while they were testing systems. And I was like, oh, I need to go find the Todd character. But there was just like a vampirism room where you click on a fountain to get vampirism, and then there's just a naked guy sleeping in a bed that you can go drink his blood. And I drank his blood, and then he just woke up and looked at me. I was like, I'm sorry.
What is my purpose?
I will also say, you have to look up videos of it, Ian, if you've never seen it. But the lockpicking system in Oblivion, you are hitting the tumblers up and locking them into place. And it's very intuitive and very fun. And I love the Skyrim, Fallout 3, New Vegas way of lockpicking. Like that's fun and simple and intuitive.
That's the one where you're like
isn't the one where you're rotating it and putting the stress on it. But the Oblivion one is just so good.
It feels more like lockpicking. Like
because you have to lock it at the right time. You knock the pins up. The pins can go up at different speeds. So the faster they go up, you have to be fast, but they can ease up, and it's randomized. So it's just like, and the harder the lock, you have to do more of them in order without messing up, or else it'll knock like 4 of them down. It's just so good. I love it. Then I've been playing Layton still. I think I'm almost done with it. It is a nightmare of a game because I play it on the toilet. I play it before bed. I play it when I wake up. I play it during work. I play it while a video's exporting. My hours in it are fucked because I leave it running in the background sometimes, and it counts those. So it's like 15 hours, and I'm like, I have not spent 15 hours in this game. I had a couple puzzles that were kicking my butt. They
you had to turn the DS. You just turn it upside down.
Yeah, I turned the DS upside down.
You had to blow in the fan.
Yeah, I had to blow the DS. It's fun though. It's a nice brain teaser, and you get that. I usually read before bed, or I play a video game, but more often than I read. But this helps by still engaging my brain because it's puzzles, so it's like best of both worlds. So sorry, books, but I found a better thing, Professor Layton. And then finally, Songs of Six, the colony builder I talked about last week. I've been playing that a lot more. It's so good. It feels so good. I have like 300 citizens now. I'm moving on to crafting some iron. I'm exporting opiates to the rest of the nation.
You should be.
My citizens are very happy. For a long time, they really wanted some stockades and execution places to teach children about criminality. So I've been putting those up.
Sounds like Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, a couple of my citizens wish some of the lesser breeds or races weren't quite living so close to them. So I'm starting to make some segregated towns here within the map to kind of appease everyone. They're hardcore racist. So just to like help that out. The pigmen don't necessarily like the zombie ladies. But yeah, it's just fun. You build the rooms and then you place the stuff in the rooms for like the workbenches, and then you have to get the efficiency up to 100%. You got to make sure the room is at 100% isolation, or else janitors have to come by and fix it up every so often. Everything is, you don't want to build houses too far away from where they work. So it makes this sort of very organic thing where you're building like, oh, I need a stone mine over here. Build the stone mine, build a couple houses, a dormitory for quick workers, put a janitor, an eatery, a lavatory, a well, a speaker so they can hear the news, all that sort of stuff. So I can feed them the state news so they know they're behaving.
Jeez.
I haven't set up schools yet. I feel like an intelligent people is a risk brand
Yeah,
risk.
it's a threat. It's a
Yeah,
threat.
I've had a couple of riots, but there's conveniently a way to kill all of them, so they don't really riot that much anymore.
Sounds great. Can I tell you, I've been thinking about getting back into Dwarf Fortress. And last night I had a dream, and part of the dream was me sitting somebody down for several hours and being like, "Hey, you ever heard of Dwarf Fortress? Let me show you Dwarf Fortress." And I'm like,
Maggie
"Okay,
duct
maybe."
taped to a chair.
Yeah, and so hearing you talk about Songs of Six, fantastic. I can't wait to play that in the future. But it's making me want to go back and scratch that Dwarf Fortress itch a little bit right now.
David said it sounds like a Republican recruitment tool. It's yes. I'm playing it up a little bit, but it is just funny. It's like it's very on that like twisted side. So it's like you eventually. I was looking down the tech tree. Like you can create insane asylums for some of your citizens who go insane. But it's like this whole thing. It's super fun. It's the middle. It's from the scale from Rimworld to Dwarf Fortress. It's like halfway to three-quarters of the way to Dwarf Fortress. You don't independently control any of the people, and you know everything about them, and you can look at every single one of your citizens, full name, all this sort of stuff. But it's easier. You're controlling more people than Dwarf Fortress. Like you can easily get up to like 10,000, 15,000 people as you're building your city out. You have this huge place to build out. And yeah, you're just like slowly building these areas that'll come together. And it's nice. It's a good feedback loop. Like you have all of your races on the side, and you just hover over them, and it tells you 3 of the biggest thoughts that they're thinking. So it's like, we want this. We want your town to look more organic. Hey, if we had less of this race, we'd be happier. So it's just like,
the truth.
And they're all fantasy races, which doesn't make it okay. But
I think David's right. Like this game does sound racist.
Yeah, in-game racist, 1,000%. That's not like it's not like real human races. It's fantasy creatures, to be fair. So it's fun, and I'm having a really good time with it. It also has an incredible art style that I adore. And you just like scroll out into the map and then scroll back in. It's almost like Factorio in that way, but Factorio you still have to open the map. But yeah, it's fun. I highly recommend it. It's very good. And they just added tourism, so I got to start getting some tourists to come visit my beautiful city of, it's like Jacobstown or something. It like picked a random name. I didn't name it that. And that's it for what I've been playing. It's been a lot. That's what we've all been playing. Time for the news, which means I get to play this quick news theme for all of us. It's time for the news. Folks, it's time for the news. I want to talk about this really quick. A quick hit, a little quick hit here. Oh, glad I didn't say anything horrible. Bethesda adds a quote new Vegas 2 branch to Fallout 4 that appeared in Steam DB.
Oh boy, we want this, right? But only if Obsidian does it.
Yeah, I wrote that at the work Slack. Someone's like, "Oh, please," and I said, "Only if Obsidian writes it."
Yeah.
Listen, I don't love the Fallout 4 engine. But if they make a New Vegas 2 and not give the main character a voice, I'm already 3,000% more on board with the game.
I mean, I'm thinking about it, and like, even if it was a New Vegas 2, even if it was made by Bethesda, as long as it's the New Vegas setting, I'm in, because that was just so much more interesting than DC.
Yeah.
And so
there's a lot of speculation that it could be a next gen version of New Vegas.
I would play that too.
Oh, so would I. Because they did it with Skyrim, but Skyrim's the same engine because it was still a relatively new engine. Fallout 4 was the brand. There was Creation 2, right? Creation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they would be up-resing this from the Creation engine all the way up to the Creation 2 engine, whatever it is. I think Skyrim's on a different engine than Oblivion and Fallout 3
Oh,
and New
yes.
Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
I don't know about that. I thought Skyrim was on the
Wait.
Oblivion engine.
No, it's on Creation. I remember Todd
Is it?
talking
maybe
about
I'll
it.
look it
I'm
up. I'll look
pretty
it up.
sure.
I'll
Yeah,
look
look it up for me. I'm just curious. But anyways, regardless, that Skyrim Anniversary Edition, when that came out, I purchased that. It runs great. They added a bunch of cool fan
Yeah.
stuff to it. I need to actually get back to that. Probably after Oblivion, I might go back to that.
Okay, here we go. I didn't say this. I'm going to take credit for it. I didn't say this because you sounded much more confident than me. Everything is Creation Engine. Creation Engine 2 is Starfield.
Okay.
That was the whole thing was this game's going to be less buggy because we're doing a brand new engine for Starfield. So everything else was just versions of Creation Engine.
Okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
just
That makes
remember one of the walkthroughs that Skyrim had. Todd said Creation Engine, and I was like, that just stuck in my mind.
But I feel like there's like, is there, and within that, does it say like the version of Creation? Because I remember them touting something for Fallout 4.
So Creation Engine started with Skyrim. So Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout 76. Creation Engine 2 was Starfield.
Oh, so what was
Elder
before
Scrolls
Creation
is-
Engine?
Yeah, that's what I need to find. So give me a second here.
Wasn't it
Game Brio? Game Brio.
And that was Oblivion and Fallout 3 and Morrowind.
Yes.
Okay, that makes so it's up to Fallout 3 or up to New Vegas, and then Skyrim was on the Creation Engine, Fallout 4 was on the Creation Engine, Fallout 76, and now Starfield is on Creation 2.
Yes, that's correct. So I don't think I could see them doing a next gen remake because it is an engine behind. So they would go from Game Brio to Creation Engine, but it's called New Vegas 2, not New Vegas.
Yeah, that's the other thing. But if they're gonna make a New Vegas 2, why would they not make it in Creation 2 engine?
Because it's easier. A lot of the assets are shared with Fallout, and this is not a main project for them. This is probably just a throwaway. We're done with Fallout 4. We're done with 76. What are we doing next?
So, but that
They're-
makes,
they're-
still
they're-
makes
they're
me
not a
lean
one-
towards a remaster, though.
But yeah, maybe. But what I'm saying is they're not a one game studio anymore.
Totally.
They've got multiple
Yeah.
projects in the pipeline. Yeah.
I can see that. Listen, you've spun me around on this. I think New Vegas has the best writing. I think Skyrim is very iffy. I think Oblivion has great writing. And then I think, Patrick Stewart, and Sean Bean as well. Oh, which Sean Bean's character is obviously there's DLC to Oblivion, so when you ask him about the Prophet, it changes to a completely different voice actor. It's incredible. I love it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. But but you made me. Oblivion has great writing, and then Morrowind I remember having pretty good writing. So it's like, I feel like there's that Fallout 3 is okay, and Skyrim kind of lost out on that side there. But anyways, moving on here. Ian Gibson, please tell me about what Sony's cooking up.
Yeah, so we have some rumors coming out of Insider Gaming, which is kind of Tom Henderson's rumors website. Insider Gaming can quote report that there's a new PlayStation handheld in development, codenamed the Q Lite. The next PlayStation handheld is the next piece of Sony hardware. Insider Gaming understands that the Q Lite is not a cloud streaming device, but instead uses remote play with the PlayStation 5. End quote. So basically, the way this works is that it is something you take with you, and it connects over the internet to your home console, and it streams at 1080p 60 FPS and lets you play your PS5 games on the go. How do you feel about this, boys?
Sounds lame.
It's absolute dog shit. It's fucking stupid.
Not interested at all.
You could do this on your phone. Your phone has remote play, and all you have to do is buy a controller for it.
Yeah.
Why would you buy a dedicated device that can't play any games on its own and doesn't do cloud gaming? It has to connect to your PS5, which means it has to be on or available on your shitty home internet and has to go through that fucking infrastructure instead of going to some beautiful, graceful, dedicated purpose cloud gaming server. This is fucking stupid.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It should, it should be remote play or play the games at 720 locally, like performance mode or something. Like, yeah, that's Yeah.
It's like part of
gross.
me is like they should do a PSP 2. But then I'm thinking like I feel like Nintendo
2.
has
There you go.
oh yeah. But Nintendo has killed the handheld market because the Switch has just completely destroyed the distinction between home console and handheld. And it just does not make sense for a company like Sony, Microsoft, etc., to now say, okay, we're going to go back to a distinction between console and handheld games. And because they have the PS5, they can't they can't have a portable PS5. So there's just not really a handheld market anymore unless you do what Nintendo did, or you're super niche like the Analog Pocket or the Playdate, etc. So I can kind of see what they're trying to do. I mean, this is what Razer is doing, but if they really want to be cool, they should make a Steam Deck. They should embrace their PC ports, and they should make a fucking Sony branded, PlayStation branded Steam Deck. There you go. I just
Yeah.
solved it for him.
I don't mean to get off topic, but I would buy if Nintendo was like, we're bringing back the 3DS. I would buy another
You have like
clamshell
3 of
3DS.
them, don't
No,
you?
no. Like the next Switch is a 3DS design.
Oh, in a heartbeat, baby.
That's what I'm
wanna
sorry. That's
close
what I
it.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000%. Clamshell.
That is
way to go.
clamshells. Clamshells the only way to travel. I hate that the Switch I have to put in and out of a little
And
baggie.
when you get on
and
a
then
plane, the
and you gotta,
plane
like,
just
take-
flies you in the air. But when you get in a clamshell, it's just straight through the ocean. You're there, man. Clamshell's the way to
Yeah.
travel.
So it's just like, yeah, if the next Switch, it doesn't even need to be a full clamshell. It just needs a little protective flap built in that
Oh,
covers
yeah.
it. Gorgeous.
Second screen
Love
experience. Kyle, tell me all about Star Wars, please.
This is purely for me. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast has been ported to VR by Team Beef, which is my new favorite mod team name. It features full dismemberment, which was a cheat you could put into the developer console
Oh
in the
my
original
God.
game. And it's literally just the game with VR. There's no visual upgrades so far as I can tell, but I think it looks pretty fun, and it looks like pretty good. Those games, that series of games had actually really good lightsaber play. So having that switched to first-person mode with VR control, I think is pretty interesting. And you can use force powers with your left hand, so you could like go choke people or use force lightning or push. It's pretty cool. I don't know how the movement is like handled. I'm guessing it's just normal control stick movement because that game
That's what it looks like.
is,
Yeah.
But I would love to try this out. Unfortunately, it's only for the Quest 2, I think, and what is the other
Wait,
one?
are you the I don't mean to question you, but there's no way it's only for the Quest 2 because
No,
then
no,
it
no,
has to
it's-
go
it's
through
the-
the Oculus store.
It's the Quest 2 and the Pico 4 is what it says that they've done it for.
But it's what I'm getting at is it's probably side loaded.
It's through the
It's gotta be
companion
running
app.
off the PC.
You have to have the original game to play. So,
Yeah. So it's probably coming off the PC. So you should be able to use it with other VR headsets as well.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, they just might not have coded it like have the correct.
Well, because I have a
Control
Quest.
schemes the other
I have a Quest 1. Like that's what I have, but I don't know.
So that one, I don't think that one connects to the PC. So you probably can't play on that.
I see. That the shot
The
where
Quest
the
1
AT-AT comes
does.
up on them
No, I'm sorry. I
is-
have the Odyssey. The Odyssey, not
seems
the.
terrifying.
Yeah, Odyssey. Yeah, Odyssey connects. I would look into it. You probably can play this.
I'll check it
Because
out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably they probably say that because Quest 2 is most popular, et cetera, and that's what they've
Yeah.
proofed it on. But
Yeah.
if it's playing on the PC, that Open VR, SDK, et cetera, means a lot of VR games play on a lot of VR headsets.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Team
so
Beef.
I'm excited. I would love to try it out. Maybe I'll do a stream of it or something like that. But yeah, I love this game so much, and just having it come back in full VR is like my dream. So also, it's been a while since I've touched VR at all. Last time was Half-Life Alyx.
Excuse me, it's the Gamer Zone. That's the new
Oh,
term
Yeah,
sorry.
for it.
we decided it's called the Gamer Zone.
The Gamer
Yeah.
Zone. Yeah.
We called up Hideo Kojima and Jeff Keighley. We said, listen, gotta call it
Workshop the
Gamer Zone.
name. Yeah.
And
Listen,
he just said
fuck
something in
Zuck.
Japanese.
It's not. Fuck Zuck. It's not the metaverse. It's the Gamer Zone.
Yeah, it's the Meta Gamer Zone. I think that's it for news. Any of this other stuff any good? Star Wars Jedi Survivor is 155 gigabytes on the PC, and that is not
155?
okay.
I heard
That
it
is
was just
not
100.
okay.
That's insane.
I'm sorry to say, but that makes sense now. I think I've gotten accustomed to that because of fucking Call of Duty in a way.
It's just wild.
You know?
I mean,
It's
Red
so
Dead
much.
2, like I get because that's an entire super high quality texture wise world, but like I don't know. I guess I just didn't think that the first game was not nearly that big, and I get that it's probably more encompassing the second game, but I don't know. I don't know what Respawn's doing because do you guys play Fallen Order when it came out?
I tried.
Yes.
It was super buggy, and I love that game. And that game had and still has some pretty bad bugs.
Yeah.
On PC.
Yeah.
I played through like 75% of it last year and dropped it again because it was it's still a little bit buggy, and just after playing Uncharted and like Assassin's Creed and stuff, the like wall climbing stuff in that game just felt like you like magnetized to things.
It was a lot more like clingy, if that makes sense.
It never felt. I never felt like I was doing the right thing. I felt like I was always cheating.
Yeah,
like
it was.
Did I get on this platform by accident?
It was almost like wall climbing on rails, if that makes sense. Where like the characters, you're just like moving him down like a specified path.
Like it was cool and everything, but the level designs were clearly like Banjo-Kazooie levels, like clearly designed for you to go down this ramp and like do this whole move and everything. It's like that's not. The world isn't designed like your Jedi playground.
I will say I don't think they had as big a budget as they probably do for this one.
True.
And they were coming off of like Apex Legends and well, Titanfall 2. We all know how that went.
Poorly.
So I'm expecting that
just
game's fucking awful. No, I love that game.
Great.
So I'm expecting much better from the second game, or at least a perfected version of the first game. So we'll see.
That
When does that
opening
come
to the
out?
first game is very good.
It's on the it's great.
It's either end of this month or early May.
April
It's close.
28th. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty soon. I should get that. Wishlist spotlight. I'm gonna save till next week. Give it some time in the sun.
Yeah.
But go wishlist another game for fun. Just do it.
Yeah, you know what? Go to Steam. Go look at some indies. Wishlist a game.
Yeah, wishlist a game. Do it.
Rihanna
Coward. Oh boy, we never finished it.
Oh, Rihanna Rouge. We should finish that. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in this week. I'm actually excited about this prospect of a live scam. I should go check out the Zom's Lair, see what they have. I've been your host, Will Crosby. This has been Local Chat. Ian Gibson and Kyle. I almost called you Jake Kyle. Kyle Bailey.
Kyle.
Sorry, I just find that so funny. We've been having a good time. Please go check us out at Subpixel Team on all the socials. And subpixelfilms.com is our website where it has a link tree, and you can check out all that cool stuff there. Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern, Subpixel Aerospace. We're going to be shooting some arrows into space, so come check that out. It's going to be very fun.
Season 2 finale. We've had our fun, but it's time to blow things up one last time.
Wow, that's incredible. We're going to have a great time with that. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I had a great time. David, thanks for popping by. Halucha, I saw you in the chat. The Dancing Yeti, great to have you here. At some point, there was a hot woman in a bikini from the Windows icons. That was very nice as well. Enjoyed that section of the show, and I hope you did too. And we'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.